Welcome back to Primetime News.
Special welcome to folks on OneSpotMedia.com.
Up first this evening, the Bank of Jamaica has been saying that the value of the Jamaican dollar is not as big a concern now as it was in prior years, but business people are saying otherwise.
The business people say while inflation is controlled now, that could change if the dollar continues to slide as it has done in recent days.
The slide has pushed up the value of the U.S. currency by $6 in the last month, compared to the $1 it went up by in the previous 6 months.
The movement is worrying producers who are voicing concern and warnings that consumers should brace for price increases if the slide does not end quickly. TVJ's Herman Green reports.
In mid-May, the value of the Jamaican dollar was just over $126 to $1. 4 weeks later, and it's now trading at a record high of $132.52 on average. It's also a record fast devaluation pace, which has manufacturers worried. Managing Director of the Jamaica Flour Mills and the Jamaica Rice Mills, Derek Nemhard, says if the slide in the value of the dollar continues, its prices will have to rise as well.
Foreign exchange will always have an impact. All our expenses effectively are in foreign exchange, and all our sales, again, are predominantly in local currency. So as we see a depreciation, then yes, it's going to affect our costing. But for right now, we're just watching until we'll make a decision once we see some stability in the market, whether it goes up, stays the same, or comes back down.
Head of the National Baking Company, Gary Butch Hendrickson, says he is also surprised and worried about the rapid slide. He says while he has no plan to increase prices soon, if the cost of flour goes up, he will have to do the same.
Our effect could be immediate. How quickly we pass it on is all a matter of the numbers, because we've historically, internally and nationally, looked at costings to make our decisions. And it's all based on the numbers, the bottom line, what it looks like.
However, the impact of the dollar on the price of flour is not the only increase that his company has to factor in.
That a 10% movement in flour, and if flour is the only ingredient that moves 10%, doesn't mean a 10% movement in bread, because it's not the only component that goes into that loaf of bread that you buy in the supermarket. It's a part of the components. There are other components imported too.
But stakeholders in the food sector are not the only ones worried. Deputy President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Richard Pandui, says his members are extremely concerned. He says with the rate at 126 to 1 a few weeks ago, some members would have budgeted for import cost fluctuation to be around 130 to 1.
The last 4 weeks, though, this rapid rate and the unavailability of dollars has created a lot of uncertainty. So people are now wondering, what is their replacement value going to be? What are they going to price their goods at? Because the fact is, the bulk of Jamaica's input is from import. That's the issue. Even as manufacturers, more than 80% of our inputs are coming from imported raw material to be transferred to further value added.
He says there have been discussions for members to hold back increases as long as possible, as prices were not adjusted when the dollar was strengthening. However, he warns that may not be for very long. Herman Green, TVJ News.